Hey, I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Daniel, and we're from Greta Van Fleet.
And we're at Amoeba, and this is What's in My Bag.
I'm just gonna fish one out of here.
That's the thing.
You know what? We're gonna start with a strong one, okay?
Is it hard to make arrangements with yourself when you're old enough to repay but young enough to sell?
The reason I went for this is because it is eerily similar looking to the Live at Massey Hall, the very legendary Live at Massey Hall performance.
Helpless, 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 helpless.
But it's not.
And it's not. This is at the Shakespeare Theater. So it's the same set-ish,
Yeah,
but different performance.
that's incredible.
Helpless, 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 helpless.
We love Neil Young. He's a big inspiration for Greta Van Fleet in general. So that's where we're starting today. Can you beat that?
Yeah, I certainly can. All right, we're gonna start with this. How about that?
And it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it.
I wanted to hand select albums that were, in my humble opinion, perfect albums that you can listen to front to back, and every song is brilliant. So this is one that Sam and I actually listened to quite often in high school. She just has a really cool story. She had a lot of struggle with her record label and just kind of a brilliant, shy songwriter. And she worked a lot with James Taylor, and James Taylor actually produced this record and played on a lot of it, I believe, as well. But damn near a perfect record.
You're beautiful as you feel.
What do you got? This is Whiskey and Wimmen, the John Lee Hooker.
Take you home with me. Put you in my house. Boom, 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 boom.
This has Boom 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 on it, Boogie Chillin'.
The
Dimples.
kids love that stuff.
They love
They
that
love
shit. It's hit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boogie chiller.
And
You do.
I remember growing up and being in the car as a kid in the Suburban and driving down I-75 in Michigan and listening to all of this stuff and a lot of these tracks. And so that's kind of why I picked this because that was like the seminal event. And I think Boom Boom was the first thing that just like, just set me off, and that was it. Like, and then I was into blues forever.
What do I have? I'm gonna
After
follow
you
the
try to
first
follow
thing.
that.
Oh, I think I will. Toots and the Maytals. Yeah, the first track, 5446 was my number. That was like one of those songs you hear it and it immediately hits you.
There's something tribal about that
Yeah,
track,
totally
actually.
tribal. Because what I love is that Toots is this way of singing that's almost like Taj Mahal. It's very melodic.
I was looking for
and
Taj Mahal record,
textured,
but I couldn't find one.
and it does this really outrageous kind of stuff that I think comes from much more roots music. So I think it's really cool what he does in the realm of reggae, even soul.
But the musicality of it as well, because
and the Maytals are like
the musicality
amazing.
it's just songwriting too.
So I'm in love with these guys. This is a great record.
This is Jimmy Smith, Groovin at Small's Paradise. I have not heard this record in particular. However, the reason I got it is because I haven't heard it. And I'm a really big fan of Jimmy Smith. He was one of the founding kind of figures in specifically jazz organ. He kind of invented the jazz organ or popularized trio, So pretty prolific player and has a big influence on jazz music. So that's why I threw that one in there.
Well, while we're on the theme of independent, strong women artists, we're gonna go Joni Mitchell, Blue.
I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. Oh, I would still be on my feet.
This is another album that is brilliant front to back.
Probably one of the top 5 greatest albums
Of all
time.
And I do not own it yet, but now I do, and it's phenomenal. It's the kind of album you can really put on anywhere, in the shower, in the winter, for Christmas time. There's a Christmas song on there.
I wish I had a river I could skate away on.
My favorite part about this album is it's almost impossible to learn the songs because the songs that are guitar oriented anyway, she always messed around with tunings and created her own tunings and just paved the way and kind of did her own thing. She just made the rules up.
I really, really want our love to do is to bring out the best in me and in you.
She's great.
She's also one of my personal favorite piano players.
She's
I
a
feel like
phenomenal piano
nobody
player.
really ever kind of acknowledges that one.
I agree with that 100%.
Very melodic, very, very beautiful, very smooth, and a lot going on musically with the bass line too. So she must have studied Bach.
You might have studied a Bach.
Hendrix in the West.
Blue child, blue child. Blue child, baby.
I think the first guitar hero and someone who influenced me as a player was Hendrix, as most guitar players are. But there's this sort of absolute, sort of primitive, relentless sort of aspect about it. So that was really cool. And then things like Little Wing and Red House, most things for me flow through the blues, you know.
No, really?
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
But my baby don't live here no more. Too bad, baby. She ain't said a damn thing about leaving, but I still got my guitar.
Okay, so this record is very important to me. I've been getting into this lovely lady recently, and this particular record is the first of hers I'd heard, Melanie, as Stoneground words.
I'm the river's lover, but I'll be the ocean's bride.
She was one of only 3 independent female artists who played Woodstock. It was Joan Baez, Janis Joplin, and Melanie Safka. So her voice is unique, and her quirky sort of lyric writing and her very unique melody writing is enchanting. She's this total badass gypsy queen. So that is Melanie.
Brilliant.
Okay, well this will be a quick one because I have no idea what it is. But this is the best part. Okay, so it pops open there, and look, someone's recording them.
We know Mannheim, Steamroller. I'm not aware of that
But
album.
it says really very colorful things back here, like what they play. Chip Davis is credited for playing drums, recorders, and more toys. So it's pretty cool, and it seems very colorful and fun. So
I would see.
I'm gonna get really stoned and no, just kidding.
Dun, 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 dun.
There it is. He's been looking for that one.
Now I'll smile in the face of it, and you'll say you'd rather me anywhere but here.
Madison Cunningham Revealer. It came out this past September, and a bunch of friends of mine had been sending me songs from the album and told me I needed to listen to it because I'm clearly a very folk-oriented music listener. And
it's also very much your style of music, something exactly that you would even create
absolutely.
or listen to.
Well, it took, when people send you music, when they're constantly sending you stuff, you just take a second and you don't really get around to it. So it took me a while to get around to it, but this album came out in September, and it somehow made every category of my streaming platform recap. This favorite most played artist, most played song, most played record. It's a phenomenal front-to-back record, and it won a Grammy. So
it's very
Madison.
musical and very intentional and very intelligent. So
Yeah.
I think that's the very cool thing about that one.
Yeah.
What Grammy did it win?
Best folk album.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
In this world and its people, all we have.
I'll make this quick. Young the Giant. This record's really cool. American Bollywood. So the singer is Indian, and he went back to India and revisited his culture and his upbringing and his childhood, and they wrote this record, and a lot of the sounds of that land and the landscape sort of embody that sonically for this, and so it's a really beautiful record, visually and aesthetically and sonically, and the songwriting is incredible because Young the Giant, they're great songwriters, and I really appreciate that. And so yeah, I love this record. It's pretty cool from the more contemporary side.
So, wait, here we go. This is brilliant. Fairport Convention, Full House.
Walk the wall with me. The more we walk together, love, the better we'll agree. We'll agree.
This, I think,
Oh,
Fairport
you have to do
Convention is probably my favorite band of all time. It just, again, comes down to the sort of melody writing, and I love the more English style folk, which feels sort of like a fairy tale almost. You know what I mean? Like you walk through a Renaissance fair and something hits you, and it's not the wave of patchouli incense wafting over or the mushrooms you just ingested. It's it's Fairport Convention.
Beware of the bonny bunch of roses,
Yeah, this is gorgeous.
Capsule of
Love
time.
this.
I have not heard this album, but I am a fan of Chicano Batman. There's this very wonderful station in Nashville where we live called Lightning 100, and I first heard a song off of their 2017 album, which I can't remember right now, but I kind of fell in love with the album, and so this is a reissue of their first one, so I'm gonna kind of go back to the beginning with this. That's that.
Yes, this is a great one. I know it's a best of, and I don't typically pick best ofs, but it was that iconic album cover, and I went through a massive Buffalo Springfield phase in high school.
Indian on the banks that were crowded and narrow, held a broken arrow.
One of my favorite songs of all time, and again, to credit Neil Young, is Expecting to Fly, and it was always on this album. It was always the album cover that I thought of when I heard of that song. But this album is the ultimate psychedelic pop and folk record, front to back again. And it really is cool, being such a Neil Young fan, to see a lot of his early works on this album. The Broken Arrow and Expecting to Fly and Mr. Soul and all that.
She said, "You're strange, but don't change," and I let her.
Yeah, it's kind of a timepiece. It's actually a very historically important album, seeing where Neil Young went.
Oh, and Stephen Stills,
After,
Bluebird.
yeah, of course, Stephen Stills, and seeing where Neil Young went and evolved musically and kind of became the Neil Young thing, the Neil Young that we know.
Yeah, absolutely.
She said you're strange, but don't change. And I let her.
This is one of my all-time favorites. It's a banger.
It's a banger. It's like one of those good from beginning to ends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have these two. Elmore James as a slide guitar player.
The tears rolling out my door.
The Sky's Crying.
Oh, nice title.
Dust My Broom.
I ain't gotta leave my baby and break up my happy home.
This is a big influence. Sun House.
Every time I think about you, honey, I just can't hardly keep from crying.
Another one of my favorite artists of all time, period. So, yeah.
Wait,
That's it for
okay,
me.
here's my last. Need I say no more? Yes, this record is brilliant. Kate Bush, brilliant.
like high art
She's
in a way.
one of those artists that I heard for the first time, and it was just like
Melodically,
turning was
pretty
what
influential.
is that? Well, this thing is going on with, and such a unique voice and such a unique way of writing melody that's fairly complex. So she's had a huge influence on me as a singer and as a songwriter. And two of my favorite tracks of hers, Running Up That Hill and Cloud Busting, is brilliant. So this record is really special. It's one of the best. So that's that for me.
And I also grabbed this.
An air freshener?
I think so.
That's fantastic.
And he's a jazz pianist,
Yes,
so that's
yeah,
why
there you
he's
go.
here.
Boom.
Thank you so much for talking with us
Absolutely.
today. Thank you so much, guys. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.